Rabbit Hole magazine and stitchery YouTube channel. Today we are here with a supplementary video. My name's Nicole. Some of you may know me from Darvanalee Designs Studio. I am a co-owner of the magazine, and so I'm going to do a little YouTube tutorial for you today. So we are making this gorgeous napkin set here called Autumn is Calling. Basically we've got some embroidery. I'm going to show you how to make the napkin itself, and basically you'll find a few other tutorials popping up for different things that we have in the magazine. Alright, so there are going to be a few things that you're going to need. First and foremost, you are going to need a working sewing machine. You're also going to need an iron and an ironing pad. You're going to need some general sewing supplies, so tape measure, scissors, rotary cutter, some marking devices, maybe some quilting rulers, whatever you've got. And the things that you're going to need to actually do this is you're also going to need a light pad, so you can see that there just off the screen. It's just a little pad that you can get from eBay and places like that. You're also going to need some marking devices, and you're going to need some matching thread. Now you can use whatever color fabric you like. I'm actually using a white quilter's muslin, Emma Louise it's called. It's just plain white. It's a little bit more delicate than a homespun, but either one will work, and you can use whatever color you like. Just bear in mind that your Shapeflex 101, which is your woven interfacing, is white, and you will be able to see that because you can see here, which one is it? I haven't done all of them yet. You can see here that we have a piece on the back just to protect our exposed back stitches there. Alright, so you're also going to need a needle with a large eye so you can put your floss through that. The floss that we used was Cosmo Seasons 5029. Now if you've got the magazine, you actually have a list of everything that you need there in the pattern. This is just a supplementary video. Alright, the other thing that you're going to need is to print off your template. That should be measuring about approximately 3 1/4 inches, a little under that. Okay, so that's what that measures. Alright, so make sure you print that off, but we can set that aside for the time being. You're going to cut out a 16-inch square or a 41 centimeter, I just had to think then, 41 centimeter square of your white fabric or the color of your choice. If you measure to 40 centimeters, that's okay too. It's just a guideline, so you might want a slightly bigger or a slightly smaller napkin. So the choice is yours, but today we are doing a 16-inch. I will be using inches throughout the video. I have supplied in the pattern all the centimeter conversions. I'm a quilter, so I work well in inches, so just bear that in mind. I know that we don't use that here in Australia and New Zealand, but for today's video we're going to, because otherwise I will end up confusing myself because as I said, I'm a quilter and I do inches all the time. Alright, so once you've got all your quilting supplies, you can cut out your fabric, and also using the measurements from the pattern, and set all the other stuff aside. You're going to grab your iron and ironing pad, and you're going to take out all the creases out of your square piece of fabric. I'm just going to set everything else aside for now. Now I've already done that. So once you've finished doing that, what you're going to do is we're actually going to mark some lines using either your friction pen, a chalk marker, or a lead pencil. Now today I'm using a lead pencil just so it shows up a little bit better on camera. It looks like we're going to have a little bit of rain here today, so the ants are marching. Excuse me. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to grab your ruler, and I will zoom in a little bit closer for you so you can see where I've marked it. So you can see here I've got a line, And all you do for that is you grab your ruler, whether it be a metric ruler or an inch ruler, and you come down about 6 millimeters or 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and then all you're going to do is mark a line. Now if you're using a pencil, lead pencil, just lightly goes. I am pressing a little bit heavier than I normally would, just for the video, just so you can see it a little bit better, because let's face it, lead pencil doesn't show up very well on camera. Alright, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. So you can see there that I've got that 1/4 inch line mark, and you can see it coming down here as well. Alright, so all the way around. Once you've done that, you can set that aside. You won't need that again. And also set your rulers aside for now. You're going to grab your iron. I'm just going to move some more stuff out of the way. Going to grab your iron and your basted glue. Now, I didn't talk about the basted glue right at the beginning, but I am going to talk about it now. So you can see here, I have some Roxanne's basted glue. Now, you can use, I think it's Elmer's school glue. I've used that in the past, but this is my favorite product. Now, you can find this over on Darvanalee Designs Studio.com, and you'll be able to find that in the shop section under haberdashery. It's called Roxanne's Basted Glue, and it comes in a couple of different sizes. These are the two my favorite, and I also have a Dabbit one as well, which is packed away in my retreat bag. I forgot to pull it out. All right, so basically we're just going to use this one today. I use this as a refill, so I don't necessarily use that all the time. This one stays beside my sewing machine, and I use this in place of clips and pins. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do this, and we're going to do it all the way around, and then we'll go back and redo it again to conceal this raw edge completely. All right, so all you need is a little. So with this product, it is less is more. You do not need a lot, and you're just going to put a little dot, or you can actually put a slight bead of glue. So you can see there, it sort of just comes out. Now this is just to hold it in place. This glue will wash out as soon as you wash them. Okay, and then we're going to roll over and just hold that in place. The glue will grab it. And we're going to grab our iron and we're going to press in place. Now my iron is set on a warm setting. Okay, and you can see there, that's just holding it in place, so I don't need any pins for it. And then we're going to continue that all the way around. And just putting a little bit of glue as you're going. As you can see, I just sort of get a little bit of a squeeze, and a little bit of glue comes out onto the tip, and then I just sort of run it along the fabric. Okay, now when we come to the corner, what you want to do is, you can see it's folded over, so we've got to make this look really nice and neat. So what we're going to do is just going to put a piece of glue, a bit of glue there, and we're going to fold it over to the line again, but you're going to take extra care and make sure that this edge here is lining up nicely with this folded edge. Okay, and then we're just going to get the tip of our iron and we're just going to set that in place. So what that will do, it will make it very easy for when we go around the second time to encase this raw edge. All right, so that's going to hold in place. I don't have to worry about that now. This is getting a little bit empty, so I'm going to have to fill it up. And again, we're just going to fold that over. Now the line that you marked is now becoming this folded edge here. Okay, and it's just a guideline for us. It's just to make it nice and easy for when we go around the second time. And you basically, when we go around the second time, you're doing exactly what we're doing now, except we'll be hiding that raw edge. Again, that corner. And fold that over, making sure that that is nice and neat. So you can see there, I don't have anything poking out if I look at it onto the right side of the fabric. Now you can make these with patterned fabric. If you do use patterned fabric, just remember that there is a wrong side and a right side to your fabric. With the quilters muslin and homespun, if you can tell me which side's the right side, kudos to you, because I can never tell. So basically, if you are using patterned fabric, and I will just show you the difference with some of the fabrics in just a second, I'll finish off this. You want to have this coming into the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, so I'll just pop this down and I will show you what I mean with a fat quarter. Okay, so this has got a pattern on it, and you can make them out of this if you want to. I personally just like to have plain ones because I'm putting embroidery on it. But if you've got like this is probably a little bit too bright, but it's just giving you an idea. So this is the right side of the fabric and this is the wrong side of the fabric. So when you're doing it, you want to fold into the wrong side of the fabric. So you can see here that I will just have that little edge come in like that. All right, but today, as I said, we are using the plain fabrics because I just like plain fabrics for napkins. They're cheap, and you don't necessarily have to do the embroidery if you don't want to. So you can use if you wanted to make them themed, so say for Valentine's Day or for Mother's Day, you might want to use flowered fabric or something along those lines. You don't necessarily have to put the embroidery on the front. You can just basically do it with a patterned fabric. All right. And we just pop that down. All right, so we've come back to the spot where we started, and now what we're going to do is we're going to roll it over for a second time, and you're going to go all the way around exactly how we've just done that then. All right, so what we're going to do, again, we're going to start in that corner, we're going to put a little dollop of glue, and then we're going to fold it over. Okay, so you can see there that when I folded that, I didn't make it even. So now what we've got is this situation like this. So I'm just going to unpick that a little bit, well, not unpick it, unstick it, and get that to lay in a little bit nicer, and just put the tip of the iron on that to hold it in place. And you can see now that that is a nice edge. So I'll put a little bit of glue, and we're going to fold that over, and again making sure that these edges are nice and flush with each other and not sticking out. Okay, so we're going to do that all the way around. Okay. And this time you're going to put the glue just below that folded edge. Okay. And then you're just going to roll that over, and that raw edge that we stuck down is going to act as the guide for our folding over to give us a nice smooth edge. Okay, and again when we get up to the end where we've got to stick our little corners down, we're going to put a dollop of glue there, and we're going to fold that over, making sure that our edges are not sticking out, because we have to fold this over again when we turn the corner. Okay, so you can see here that's one side done. Then we're going to turn the corner. Okay, we're going to put our little bit of glue there, and starting in our corner, it just makes it a lot easier to get a nice neat edge. And then we're just going to fold that over, and then we're going to use the tip of our iron to hold that in place. And I'll bring that up a little bit closer for you to have a look on how that's looking. Okay, so you can see here that we've got a nice flush edge. Okay, so it's not sticking out anywhere. If I turn it over, it's not sticking out. All right, and we're going to continue on doing that, and all our corners need to look like that. Okay, when you get back to the start, you'll be folding this over and holding that into place as well. Okay, all right, so I've got one that I prepared a little bit earlier. So you can see here that all my edges are stuck down, and now we are ready for sewing. So there's my corners. Okay, so move your iron and your ironing pad out of the way. We don't need our glue anymore, so you can put that aside. Now I've got my sewing machine set up, ready to go. You want to add a matching cotton, so whatever color you're using, you want to have a matching cotton. Okay, I'm just going to move the camera just slightly, so sorry about that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to stitch on the wrong side. You're going to get your, you can use an open toe foot, or you can use your 1/4 inch foot. You can see here I've got a 1/4 inch foot on. You want to make sure that your needle is in the middle. Okay, so you don't want to, if you're changing feet, you want that to be in the middle. And what we're going to do is we're going to stitch down our little hem that we just made. All right, we are going to start on this corner just here. All right, now I do start not directly in the middle. I come down a little bit, so just about here is where I'm going to put my needle in the down position. And what we're going to do is we're going to stitch as close to this folded edge just here. So just along this edge here is where we're going to stitch. All right, so hopefully I can get this close enough for you to see. And I'm going to put the needle in the down position. Now for this particular presser foot that I'm using, you can see here that I've got a little narrow piece of the foot, and then I've got a fatter piece of the foot. All right, so this little narrow piece here is going to serve as my guide. So on this side, I'm going to have this edge of the fabric aligning with this edge of the presser foot. Now, if you've got an open toe foot, you can still do the same thing because you've got a little edge on that side. If you're just using a regular foot, you're going to have to sort of gauge it, and you're going to want to come in about 1/8 of an inch. Now, you can mark it with your friction pen if you like. If you find it easier to do that, all you're going to need to do is just place, so you can see on this particular ruler, I've got a little bit of a blue edge, so I will just place that at this edge here if I was doing it this way, and then just mark a line. Okay, this friction pen will iron off, so I won't see that again. Okay, and once I wash it, all the gel will definitely be out of it, and you won't ever have a problem of it coming back. Okay, so then you can just basically follow that line like your needle would stitch on that line. Okay, so hopefully that makes a little bit sense to you, for those that don't have all the specialty feet. All right, I have my stitch length up to around a 3.5 or a 4. Okay, and we're just top stitching this in place. Okay, and all we're going to do is we are going to just start stitching. So you can see there, I'm just lining it up, and we're going to go all the way around. Another thing too, if you have done your 1/4 inch rollover, your hem properly, and you've used your lines and you've rolled it over properly, it will actually be a 1/4 inch. So you can see just here where my finger is, the fabric's not coming past on this side, past the presser foot. So basically you can see it is lining up, and it's a 1/4 inch. So it is actually matching up with my presser foot. It doesn't always go to plan that way. Sometimes, you know, you're a little bit wobbly and you might not have a 1/4 inch. It might be just a little bit on the fat side of a 1/4 inch, or it might be a little bit skinnier. But as close as you can get. And then we're going to come up and we're going to stop this fold here. We're going to come about 1/8 of an inch past that. Okay, and then with the needle in the down position, we're just going to pivot. Okay, there's no need to reverse at this stage. We will do that when we get back to where we started. Okay, so we've come back to where we've started. We've still got a pivot because we started a little way down from that corner, and you're going to come down to where you started and go over that stitching mark by 1 or 2 stitches, and then you'll do a back stitch. And then you're just going to pull that out, and you're going to repeat that, what we've just done, for all of your napkins, however many you're making. So in my case, I made 4. Then we just want to get rid of any sort of scraggly bits. I'm going to straighten the camera up. That is it for sewing now. We're done and dusted. Alright, so you can see there that I have stitched that down on the wrong side, and then on this side we've got a nice neat stitch line all the way around. Alright, so that is how you make your napkin.